Coming up, evidence their home was touched
I was shocked.
by a miracle. And finding a 100-year-old keychain
There was actually a very long iron key.
from a swanky love nest. Then, the clues added up
How cool is that?
to worship, music, and booze.
Next on If Walls Could Talk. Hi, I'm Mike Siegel. When they discovered a secret compartment in an old desk, our next couple started asking questions. What could be hidden in there, and what would it say about their house? They got a shocker when they opened it up and looked inside. It was more than a secret, it was a miracle.
It was love at first sight and a little bribe that made Matt and Sherri DiDuro buy this sprawling ranch-style home in the small town of Geneva, New York.
I said, honey, what if I buy you that house? And what'd you say? You said,
I said,
if you
me
buy me
that
that
house, I'll stay in
New York
forever.
Furnishing the 5,600 square foot home was a little daunting, but luckily, the couple was able to buy a few pieces from the estate of the former owners, Otto and Maria Stern.
we bought a buffet, a couch, some chairs downstairs, and the desk.
Matt and Sherri had no idea that purchase would eventually reveal the truth about their home's past. All they knew at first was what they'd heard through the grapevine.
There was an urban legend about the house that the developers of Miracle Grow had built it, but you could never really confirm it with anybody. I was like, oh, come on, no way. This is Geneva, it's a little town.
The first hint there might be something to the rumor was right by the front door.
These stained glass windows, and I think they're like a flowering type pattern.
The design looked a lot like new plants sprouting up. Could this really be the house that Miracle Grow built? Their suspicions grew with Matt's next discovery.
One day I was cleaning out the garage, and I started moving some boxes around, and I found this sign. Whoa! It was the original Sterns Nursery farm sign.
The Sterns had obviously been involved with plants, but just how involved came as a total surprise. Matt and Sherri thought they had bought a house with a big backyard for their kids to play in.
We moved in late winter.
But as winter turned to spring,
We could start seeing these 75-foot-long gardens, and they were about 4 feet wide. And as the snow melted, things were starting to pop up. And I was like, Sherri, how are we going to take care of all this?
You can see the lines where they were. There was just all kinds of stuff popping up. Roses and peonies. I was shocked. I was shocked.
they moved the plants into flower beds around the house and put grass down in the yard, wondering all the while if the Sterns were just avid gardeners or modest millionaires. The furniture they bought from the estate turned out to hold the key.
We were gonna have a dinner party, and I came to get some napkins, and when I pulled them out, I found this picture, and I thought, oh wow, look at this.
It looked like a 1950s advertisement for a handy little product called Miracle Grow.
I just thought it was really neat. I said, hey Matt, you gotta come look at this. This is incredible.
It was a thrilling discovery, but it didn't prove anything. Any gardener might have saved the ad. But when Matt was cleaning out the old desk, all their searching finally bore fruit.
I could get some of the drawers open, I couldn't get the others. You had to kind of pull on this one, and then this released it. So I was working in this drawer, and I found that there was another little hideaway piece here, and when I opened it up, that's where I saw these different business certificates. And I saw, Sterns Nursery, and I saw Sterns Garden Products, and then I saw Sterns Miracle Grow.
Finally, Matt had proof. A multi-million-dollar company had been run from this very desk.
I went and I got my wife, and I was like, honey, you're not going to believe it's, this is for real. This was their house. They developed Miracle Grow.
Matt and Sherri decided it was time to dig up some details. That's when they came across another miracle of sorts. They discovered that the Sterns' daughter, Eva Stedman, lives across the street from them.
She was really our historian who kind of helped put it all together and kind of explain the family history.
Otto Stern ran a nursery and sold his plants through mail order. To help them survive their long journeys, he hired a chemist to develop a dry fertilizer. When customers clamored for more of the miracle plant food, Sterns Miracle Grow was born.
They actually developed it and kept their anonymity for 25 to 30 years living in this small town. And I thought that was pretty neat.
It turns out that colorful ad Sherri found actually shows Otto and Maria waiting in line to buy Miracle Grow. Matt and Sherri were also able to track down the original builder of the house, who gave them the answer to one last mystery.
When we met with the builder, he explained to us that Mrs. Stern had actually made these and was one of her other hobbies that she liked to do.
And that's not the only surprise Maria left behind.
Every 3 months, there's different colors that pop up at different parts of the house, and it's pretty neat to watch.
Now that they've unearthed the truth of what they thought was a tall tale, Matt and Sherri are proud to be living with the Sterns' miraculous legacy. Just ahead, a find in the fireplace.
This actually slid.